Well, hey, Central Texas, thank you so much for joining us again on another episode of the B.A.D podcast, where we talk about all things after dark. With me today, I have a very special guest. This is actually the second time I've interviewed her. She joined us before on the Texas Today morning show, and I was just like, I just want to bring her back because she is just so great. I have with me Miss Delcina West. So welcome, Delcina.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. I have your book since you came on the show. Mm-hmm. You showed us your book, The Sexy Senior Citizen, How to Stay Sleek, Sexy, and Strong as you age. It's been on my desk. So people keep asking me, like, who is that? Or what is that book? Like, my boss was like, what's that sexy senior citizen on your book, on your desk for? And I'm like, oh my gosh, she came on the show and she, gave us a copy of her book and, been kind of like skimming through it and just reading it. And it's just so good.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, no problem. And I do want to tell all of our viewers, you invited me to your tea party.
Oh yes, wasn't that fun?
It was so fun. I was like, you know what, I've been to a lot of tea parties, but I feel like yours was the one that was just on point. Oh. Like a real tea party. You know what I mean? Yeah. You really got that feel that you were we were in the Bridgerton era or something.
Because when I have parties, I always think about the experience of the person that's coming. Mm-hmm. Not just the ambiance, but what are they going to be doing? How are they going to be feeling? Yes. What do they want to experience? And that's why we had the little education about tea and the little hat party. Were you there for the hat fashion show?
I think I left before the fashion show. Yes. I had a sorority event to get to. Oh, wish I would have saw that. Oh, that's great. That's great.
It was fun.
Okay, so let's get into it. The Sexy Senior Citizen. So let's talk about this book.
Okay.
Why did you decide to write this book?
Okay, well, first of all, I have to tell a lot of people it's not about being a senior citizen. Mm-hmm. Because I got the question, well, you're not a senior citizen. Well, I mean, I am 60, but it's about what you need to do today, whatever age you are as a woman. Primarily, I'm looking at the women that are 40 and over, in order to let the rest of your life be the sexy senior citizen. Mm-hmm. And being a sexy senior citizen, for me, is about being confident, being self-assured, being in control of your life, being active, being engaged, and, taking ownership of where you are right now, accepting it, and then doing better than you have in the past.
Absolutely. And I want to say 60 years old and she looks dang good. Okay. looking very good. So that is awesome. So what is your background? Like what is your background?
Okay. Well, I guess I started in bodybuilding when I was in the military. I was in the military for 26 years, and I was looking for something else to do as a sport, and I got into bodybuilding, and that's the first time I ever actually lifted weights, and it made me feel different than all the other exercises I was doing as a woman because all of a sudden I felt this strength that I have. I was like, I could move my own couch, that kind of stuff, and that's why I realized you could actually shape your physique based on using muscles. So once I went into that, I realized, I want to teach other women how to have this kind of confidence, how to have this kind of self-assurance. Because so many of us women, we kind of make ourselves into shy little petals in the background oftentimes.
Yes.
And so I realized when I was lifting weights, it made me come out. It made me feel strong. It made me feel confident. So I went from that into personal training, and then I went into coaching more specifically because I realized, okay, there's a lot of information on the social media about how to lift. But when it comes to actually changing your lifestyle, people need a little bit more hands-on guidance. Mm-hmm. And that's when I became a wellness practitioner because being in your best self is not just about food and nutrition. It's about your sleep, your stress, your everyday world all around you. Mm-hmm. All those things have to do with your health. Because we're a whole person. Our whole life is involved in how your body responds. So that's why, as a practitioner, I get to coach clients through a myriad of things that have to do with your overall wellness to get to be the best version of yourself.
Kind of, since we're talking about health, in your book, you do talk about health and the importance of working out as you age. Mm-hmm. So kind of talk about that. Why is that so important?
I think weight training is the most important thing women can do for themselves as they get age. After the age of 35, we start losing muscle mass. So imagine this, you have an average diet and you don't do any weight training, but you still keep gaining weight and you keep gaining weight and you keep gaining weight. And what happens is our metabolism starts to slow down. We lose muscle mass. And so there's a lot of people who I call them like skinny fat people. Sorry to use the term, but it's like you're small, but you're wobbly and loose and just, like a water balloon. Right? So we as women, if you have to choose between cardio and weight training, I always say do the weight training. Because if you're doing cardio and say you burn 300 calories on the machine, right? And you go and eat a 300-calorie bagel, it's just zeroed out.
Oh.
See, but if you do weight training, that changes your body at a chemical level. So it continues to change, increase the amount of calories you can eat, increases burning calories, and allows you to be shapelier.
I like that because I'm more of I want to do cardio, thinking that that's going to help lose weight, which I guess it can, but, depending on the diet. And that's the hardest part because I'm in my 30s. Yeah. And like you just said, when you're over 35, like I'm starting to feel it. I'm like, not bouncing back like I used to.
Yes, girl. Oh, my gosh. So, you can't have as many drinks as you used to. No. You can't stay up as late as you used to.
No, man.
You get up in the morning, it's almost like an exercise in getting up. You got to roll to the side and then roll up on your elbow. And
It's a struggle. It's a struggle. So, kind of talk to me as well about you. How long have you been married?
35 years.
Oh. Whoa. I don't know if this next question would apply to you. I was gonna. So we had a conversation in here before about dating. As you get older, and we're talking about the stigma of dating. As you get older, any advice you may want to give, any senior citizens, maybe in their 60s, some people go through divorce.
Though, let me tell you, look, I've been married for 35 years, but it hasn't been smooth sailing the whole time.
Yeah.
Because we don't realize that we change as people. In your 20s, you get married and you have this one certain mindset.
Right.
Then you get into your 30s, you're mature and your mindset is a little bit different. And at each stage, your mindset is different. And your partner may or may not be on that same journey.
Yes.
And I tell you, my husband and I, what was it, maybe 20 years ago, we came to a kind of like a halt. Like we just ended up being roommates because I was moving in one direction and he was still stuck in one other direction. Okay. And we were not compatible like we used to be. And it was plain old boring, to be quite honest to you. It was boring because we weren't cultivating the relationship.
Yeah.
And so we actually decided, I don't know if he's going to mad at me about this, but we decided to take a break for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And I moved out.
Separate.
It was the first time I'd actually been by myself as an adult because I got married this was my second marriage, 18 for 3 years. But I was like, all right, I'm by myself. Yeah. I'm going to experience all these things. Girl, there's nothing out there.
Okay. Nothing. Okay. Listen.
It's like so many men out there are they're lazy. And my husband, although he had become kind of sedentary, he was still a gentleman. He was still very caring, very kind, very protective, very nurturing, all these kind of things. And a lot of men out there, I noticed, they want the woman now to do the things.
They want you to chase
the money and chase them and all this stuff like that. I was like, let me just run on back to my hubby. Oh man, let's talk about what we got to do to make this right.
Yes, for sure.
So today we are like in the most in love ever.
Oh wow, amazing!
It's so crazy. We hold hands wherever we go. We hug and sit and talk and kiss and it's. And we actually, this is after dark, right?
Yes, after dark. Let's go there.
We changed our sexual lifestyle because we got stuck doing the same thing.
Okay.
But when you're growing up, you have this idea of what's good or bad and what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
But I realized in a consensual relationship, whatever works for the two of you is what works for the two of you. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you just got to kind of let yourself go and experience different things. And then you realize, okay, I can do that. I like that.
Okay. And that leads me to another question I have for you because we were kind of talking about this yesterday. I thought as you age, you lose your sex drive. You know, and it is have you had that experience?
No. Now, there are some situations as you go through perimenopause into the menopause phase, because a lot of women decrease their estrogen levels and their testosterone levels, which testosterone is strongly related to your sex drive. So as we decrease that, that desire can come down. But there's also converse area to that, because in your 40s, your sex drive, because that's when your body really starts to shift, can actually increase a lot more. That's what I noticed with myself. My sex drive increased a lot more.
Okay.
And I wasn't feeling what I was needed to feel from my husband at the time. But you have to realize with women, our sex drive starts in our mind. Our mind has to be stimulated for our body to follow through.
Okay.
And so we got to be willing to take the steps necessary to get our minds stimulated, in a sense, so that you can continue to enjoy sex. And so you got to look at things differently, you know?
Okay. Look at things differently. So I got a lot more time.
You got a lot more time. You can enjoy a full, wonderful, dare I say, spicy.
Ooh, spicy.
Sex drive in your 60s. Let me tell you what my husband and I do.
Okay.
Example. Like, he got this new job where he travels a lot.
Okay.
And initially I thought, man, this sucks. He's going to be gone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then we switched it around and we thought, you know what? You're going to be gone all the time. While you're gone, I can work on myself.
Yeah.
And then I can come visit you and we can pretend like we're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, yes.
So
maybe a little role play.
That's right. So when we go out of town, we're like two different people. We hang out. We go to different places. We find speakeasies. We dress up. We just let our imagination fly.
Yeah.
And it's like a little honeymoon every time.
Yeah. Live life.
That's
You know what I mean?
right.
Like, live life. Because I know, you know, there are some women, not all, but some women who feel like as they get older, it's over for them. Like, I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dress like, I don't need to put on those cute clothes. Like,
No,
you know,
but
like.
that's the thing that attracted them, right?
Yes.
So why would it not continue to attract them?
Yes.
And just because he may not be as aggressive towards you as before, doesn't mean that you can't be the one who, you know, makes the first step. Because a lot of women are like, I'm just waiting for him to come to me, or waiting for him to give me a kiss. Or, girl, jump his bones.
See, I'm glad you said that, because me, I'm afraid of rejection. What if I reach for a kiss and he turns his head or something? I'm like, oh,
I'm going to tell you what, men will never, never reject a sexual event.
Never, ladies. You hear that? Go for it.
That's right.
Take the shot. Absolutely. So that's great. Okay, so that's very, very great to hear. And congratulations on 35 years of marriage. And I met your husband once before.
Yeah.
And I said this before. I was like, he kind of reminds me of do you know what a silver fox is?
Oh, yes. I call him my silver fox.
Oh, okay. Yes. Because I was like, oh, my God, he's dressed to the nines. I said, they
yes.
fit.
Yeah.
You guys fit together. So that is very, very great. So I'm so happy for you.
Thank
and
you.
so happy for your book. So what has your response been in the community to your book? Are women taking your advice or asking you questions? I know you host some events, you know.
Yes, I have. And to many of the women that have read it, they're surprised because it gets them to start thinking internally. You know, because I tell women, this is the time in your life to stop and take assessment of yourself. What are you doing for you?
Yeah.
What are you doing to make you feel good? Even if things aren't always in the right way, because life is life in all the time, right?
Absolutely.
You know, but it doesn't mean that you can't comb your hair, put on a lipstick or some earrings, you know, and step outside with a little bit more confidence. We have to do the thing to make us feel confident. A lot of times we're like, I'm waiting for the time so I can feel motivated. I'm waiting for the motivation to come. No, it works in the opposite direction. You have to do the thing and the motivation will come. So you put on clothes that makes you feel good.
Yes.
Don't go outside wearing baggy, droopy, holy clothes, because then you're going to feel baggy, droopy, holy. Right? So, and I'm not saying, you know, I wear heels all the time because I just love to. But You act differently when you dress differently. Tell me if I'm not right or wrong.
You are so right. And I tell people all the time, when you look good, you feel good.
Absolutely.
I have plenty of friends who will have certain outfits in their closet. I'm not going anywhere. I can't wear that. Wear it. Why? There's been plenty of times where I will just get dressed and just take a picture. And they're like, where are you going? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm just putting these clothes on and I'm taking a picture. And, I'm just going to be cute.
Good.
It makes you feel so much better.
During COVID, when I was working from home, I would get up, get dressed in my full-on work clothes, walk to my office in the next room, and be ready for work for that day. I mean, it's just a psychological boost for yourself. And when you start to feel good about yourself, then you start taking steps to do other things that are good for yourself. Maybe you'll take the time to make a breakfast. Maybe you'll look at your dinner and consider, well, maybe I should eat something a little bit better because I like the way I looked in that outfit and I want to keep looking that way in that outfit. And it's just a baby steps.
Yes.
But you got to start somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. I have a story for that, and it sounds crazy, but it'll get me to work out. So sometimes, like you said, droopy and baggy. Sometimes, I'll just throw on some biker shirts and a shirt to go work out. But I get so now where I'm on Amazon finding cute workout outfits. Because if I go running or walking, I want to be cute doing it. It's like you said, you look good, you feel good. So then that will motivate me to go on those walks or to go lift weights or work out. But when I'm in, just holy tennis shoes and I'm out there working out, I don't feel good. I'm ready to go home.
Exactly. So you got the cute clothes on and you're like, well, I want to fit the mold, so I'm gonna keep on working out. And then you start thinking, well, maybe I drink some water, and you start drinking more water.
Absolutely.
And after you start drinking more water, you start feeling good. You're like, oh, you know what, maybe I'm gonna have some scrambled eggs and whole wheat toast for breakfast instead of a donut today. And you take that one step and then it just kind of snowballs.
Absolutely.
It snowballs. And that's what I kind of help my clients do. I said, look, because a lot of times, especially I have a chapter in the book that says, if I'm talking too much, tell me.
No, we're fine.
I have a chapter in the book that says, focus on what you can do, not on what you cannot do. I run into so many women who say, I don't have time. I can't eat this. I can't eat that. I can't do this. I'm like, okay, what can you do? Let's start there. What can you do? Because that happened to me when I had shoulder replacement and I had spinal fusion, and I was all in a pity party, like, I can't go to the gym, I can't do this. And I was like, then my mind said, well, the other arm works and your legs work, and you definitely can choose what to eat.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking, well, let me focus on that. Yeah. Let me focus on the leg stuff, and let me focus on what I can eat that will help me to feel healthier.
Okay.
And then when I start focusing on that, as I was healing, it was make me heal faster because I'm healthier and I'm stronger. Yeah. So we got to focus on the very littlest thing you can do. So if you don't have a lot of time, do you have 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, use 10 minutes.
Use 10 minutes.
Start with the 10 minutes. If you don't have a lot of time to prep, buy some foods and snacks that are on your counter that are, whole foods. Grab those and eat. Don't set yourself up for failure by having things around you that make it harder to be healthier.
Oh my gosh.
If it's in the house, you're going to eat it. I'm going to tell anybody.
Amen.
They'll be like, oh, I'm just getting it for my kids, or I'm just getting it for my friends. No, if it's in the house, you're going to eat it.
You're going to eat those cookies.
You're going to eat whatever it is in the house. Don't lie to yourself.
You're going to eat those fruit snacks.
That's right.
Absolutely. So tell the viewers, where can they get your book, The Sexy Senior Citizen?
All right. So there are several places you can get it. If you're local, you can go to the Charming Haven, which is off of Fort Hood Street.
Yes, I know
That's
that place very well.
It's a beautiful boutique. They have the book there and T-shirts and mugs and journals. And if you're not, you can get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Okay. You can look for The Sexy Senior Citizen. I'm the only one that come up. I was the #1 Amazon bestseller for women in the aging category when we first came out. So I'm proud of that.
Yes.
And you can also go to my website, actually, https delcinawest.com. And you can buy it from me, and I can autograph it for you if you'd like.
Oh, that is sweet. I mean, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta meet her. Such great advice. Okay, so before we go, we always end with some bad advice.
Ooh.
And that's broadcast after dark advice. I know every time I say it, they're like, am I supposed to give people bad advice? No. You give good advice, but it's just, we're playing off the letters. B.A.D.
Love it.
So I want to ask you, you said you've been married for 35 years. So, this is definitely a good question to ask you, as, people in their 20s, their 30s, not married just yet. Do you think they should focus on that one person, put all their eggs in one basket, or date around and figure out what you like, what you don't like?
I think the first thing you should do is focus on making yourself the best version of yourself. The harder you look, the harder it is to find. If you become the most attractive version of you, you will attract the perfect man for yourself.
Yes.
And so to keep your options open. We have too many lists of do's and don'ts. If you honor yourself and you are becoming the best version of self, and you know what you will and will not accept, that person will walk into your life.
You know what you remind me? As soon as you said that, you remind me of my mom. She said, when you're looking for him, you'll never find him. And so just work on you, and then
it's like the law of attraction. It is a law of attraction. You keep looking. You're looking in one direction while the one that you want might be coming from this side, because you're not letting yourself be open to attract everything.
Absolutely. I love that. I'm sitting here writing notes. So she said, no. Well, Delcina, I want to thank you so much for being on the B.A.D podcast. You were great. Always such a pleasure to be able to talk to you. Before we go, is there anything coming up? Anything you got going on that you may just want to throw out there for us before we close out?
Yes. Well, we have a podcast. My sister and I have been joined together doing the Sexy Senior Citizen podcast.
Okay.
So we've been recording a few episodes, and we will have it on all the podcast platforms. So it's Jennifer and Delcina, the Sexy Senior Citizens. And so I want you guys to look out for that.
Yes, I'll listen.
Right now we're airing on Facebook on a regular basis, trying to work out the kinks.
Yeah. But
just look for the Sexy Senior Citizen podcast coming soon.
Oh my gosh, amazing. All right, Central Texas. Well, that's all the time we have. Hopefully you enjoyed our show. Like, Delcina dropped some nuggets and some gems, so it was great. But we'll see you guys on the next episode of the B.A.D podcast.
The B.A.D podcast, I love it.